We shall be doing more work, and we shall be inviting you to in due course to announce more coordinators. We want to ask all of you, mwongere ku mulimu guno. Bano ba coordinators bagenda kubakulembera bukulembezi. Naye omulimu ogusinga kugenda kukolebwa mwe bana DA abali wansi ku ground era abatambuza enjiri ya DA. Sagala kwogera bigambo bingi nnyo, sagala kwongera kwezyo. Mwebale nnyo kumpuliriza, mwebale ddala. Omukama Katonda abakuume era abazeeyo mirembe.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Honorable Michael Mabike. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank Honorable Mabike for that job. He has ably taken us through the list of coordinators. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, Njagala, I want to invite the Honorable Dr. Abedi Wanika to help us invite the coordinator to speak to us. Say Honorable Dr. Abedi Wanika. DJ, Honorable Abedi Wanika, we have a celebrity.
Our leader, our coordinator, Right Honorable Mpuuga Samba. I think our song will be the other one that which they sang when they were inviting Honorable Michael Mabike. It sounded, it is a real song. Our invited distinguished guests, the members of parliament, our elders, I've seen all people represented from the entire Uganda. We want to welcome you to this very important day. Our coordinators from the countryside, you are welcome. I think he's a gentleman from Kasese, from Rwenzori, that said that we are here for transition, not transaction. I liked that. We are here for transition, not transaction. We are here for serious business. And DA stands for that very serious project. We want to give Uganda, the people of Uganda, the hope and the alternative that they have been waiting for many years. We want to give Uganda the hope, we're understanding and appreciating that our people have waited for so long. And in DA, I acknowledge that there is that hope, the desired hope. I therefore don't want to take much of your time. I'll have another opportunity to speak. But I've been speaking, and the people of Uganda, they know what I stand for. My message has always been very clear. But we want to appreciate God first of all, that He has presented to us leaders in the DA. We are a talent pool of leaders. A talent pool of leaders. Leaders that are seasoned, leaders that understand the history of our nation, leaders that understand where we are and where we should go. I'm a Bible reader, There is a verse that says, the sons of Ishak had understanding of the times and where Israel ought to go. And because of that, they were on top of their brethren. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to state that we in the DA, we have the understanding of the times. We have the understanding of our nation. And we also know where to go. There are many political forces that know where we are, but they don't know where we are going. And that is dangerous. It is important that any political leader that wants to be a leader for this nation must know where we are, what are the issues for now, but he must know and she must know where we must go. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to present to you and to invite for you a leader that knows where we are. He also knows where we are coming from, but he also knows where we are going. And he's none other than the Right Honorable Mathias Mpuuga. Please, let us stand and welcome him as he comes to address us. I want to welcome all of us to stand and welcome the Right Honorable Mathias Mpuuga.
Mumukubire engalo ez'amaanyi mulabe bwanyirira ow'ekitiibwa oli mazima wanvu munjogera ennyangu kateebe kennyini oli mukwanabulabwa ate onyirira lukulu ate oli muyivu omuteeketeeke mukone mu ngalo ez'ow'ekitiibwa musajja mugezi ekirala musajja mukozi ekirala mwegendereza mukono okutako nga sibalimba tali amayirungi yadamyaga tali wabisiwa bisiya n'omuteeketeeke
tujja nnimi muwulira. Thank you Omudingidi. Colleagues, members of parliament, colleagues and principals of the DA, and all of you, our distinguished national coordinators that have been presented here by Comrade Michael Mabike. DA! Can I hear you? DA! New way. DA! New way. New way. New way. New way. Thank you. It's indeed a new day, and we are assembled here to announce a new way. I would like, first of all, to welcome all of you assembled this afternoon. Majority of you from our country did arrive here very early in the morning, and your long journeys were purposeful. You did not travel all the way from Gulu, from Teso, from Tolo, from the Renzori, on a tour of Kampala. It was intentional, it was purposeful that you made the sacrifice to gather here this morning and still seated this afternoon. I want to thank you most sincerely. This Friday falls after a national debacle that we witnessed in Kawempe yesterday, or probably for 2 weeks. And I would like to take this opportunity to, in a special way, congratulate my brother and learned friend, the Honorable Nalukola, for coming on top of that debacle
I can't call it an election, but he surmounted a debacle that mirrored an election, or tried to resemble an election. So Comrade Nalukola and the National Unity Platform, congratulations. I very much understand and appreciate that yourself and your peers had to suffer the indignity of going through that debacle to be announced winner. The question of the day is that what we bargained before as a people? Was that our bargain as a nation at independence and after? Was that the dream and aspiration of our forebearers? That if we're looking for leaders, we must go through a humiliation never witnessed in the history of man for the sake of becoming leaders in this country. I would like to use the same opportunity to send my sympathies to the Fourth Estate, to a number of journalists and independent media practitioners that were croppered and humiliated for 2 weeks because they wanted to bring the truth to the world. I am sending these sympathies to the media, not because the non-media practitioners must be beaten and humiliated, but because the media is the mirror of society. So what the media does, we see and witness ourselves. The media communicates our frustrations, our aspirations, our dreams, and we're able to compare and contrast our situations. So whereas I say that, no human being should be humiliated because they are trying to make a choice. No one should ever be humiliated. Bannamawulire tubasaasidde nnyo kubanga mwendabirwamu yaffe. Naye tekitegeeza nti abatali bamawulire bo bakubibwe. Ensi yaffe abagiteekawo emyaka 62 tebalootako nti nga tulonda amagezi gaffe n'obusiru bwaffe bujja kweyoleka. The by-election in Kawempe brought out the worst of us. The by-election brought to the fore. By-election for a member of parliament that's going to last barely 7 months expose our deep divisions as the opposition, as a nation, as a people. That should never happen. But for every dark cloud, there is a silver lining. We must pick eternal lessons from the Kawempe debacle. I hesitate to call it an election because it does not in any way portray an election. It was a bad exposure of how divisive, how inconsequential politics can become. And I hope we're able to pick eternal lessons. That we can crowbar each other, that we can tear gas each other, that we can humiliate our people, that we can humiliate family people. Omusajja omukulu Semaka n'omukwata n'omwambula n'omuyuliza engoye kubanga oyagala kalulu. Eyo ensi eba tevanga mu Stone Age. Tuba tukyali mu nsi ya kulya mirandira na bikoola. Kyewuunyisa. abantu bagenda dda ku mwezi abala bali ku maazi banoonyayo biriyo ffe tukyalwana kubanga tunoonya bakulembeze nti okwefunamu omukulembeze tulina obbanga tutemyeko omutwe olwo omukulembeze azuuke eyo nsi yabagwagwa. We stand here this afternoon not because we are great friends, not because we know each other so well. We are here this afternoon and withstanding all manner of adversity to be here because we share a common history, because we have same aspirations, because we have shared dreams, but also we share a destiny. Tetukunganye kubanga tuli ba mukwano nnyo, tukunganye kubanga ebyafaayo byaffe bye bimu, kubanga tulina ebirooto bye bimu ne tufaanana n'ebyafaayo y'ensonga lwaki tuli wano. I only got to know my brother from Teso probably about 2-3 years ago, but since then we have been able to establish a special commonality of aspirations, a special bond to drive this nation to new heights, a special conviction that all has gone wrong and therefore we must work to change the course of this country. All of us here, representing people that left home, have suffered the brunt of misrule. Buli muntu alozeza kuba nakyemalira. Buli muntu mu ngeri emu akoseddwa. Abeeruweero batunula ku buwanga, balengera nfuufu na buwanga bye baakungula. Nali nnambula ekiboga eyo ne baŋŋamba ssebo mwogera ku myaka naffe ono bawezezaawo 43 kubanga bajjawo dda ne bateekawo ne zi RC. Everybody has tested the fact that we have never had a liberation. The liberation was a very fat lie, big fat lie. It was a big lie. Therefore, after 62 years of our independence, the dreams, the aspirations of building a free and fair society, a progressive nation, we are shortchanged. Nze saaliwo mu 62 nze Kyonuka yaliwo era akubuulira nti balina ebirooto okuzimba eggwanga erimu obwenkanya, balina ebirooto okuzimbira abaana n'abazzukulu eggwanga erikuze, eggwanga eddamu era abaana n'abazzukulu naye babaguza kapa mu kutya. Our forebearers were shortchanged. The dreams at independence were shortchanged. Bw'otegeera nti kitaawo jjajjawo baamulimba ate gwe omuzzukulu totambulira mu buki bulimba. Ffe bannamateeka tumanyi n'okumanya nti singa oli akozesa endagaano n'okizuula nti yali yakugulika, osobola okugenda mu kooti neweekubira enduulu nti ono yannimba naye kisi yali akola ki kibaita misrepresentation. The dreams of our independence were misrepresented by the leaders, by the so many subsequent leaders after independence. Abazze batufuga butatuna obwetwaze batuguza kapa mu kutya. It's the duty of this generation to say, yes, we acknowledge the lies, we acknowledge the shortchange, we acknowledge the duty. It's now our time to change the tide. It's our time to rethink the model of this country. Lenyimyamu n'omusajja omukulu omu n'aŋŋamba nti ebiseera bino bye tulimu oyinza okugamba nti tuli wakati wa 6 nga tufuna obwetwaze. We are at crossroads. We are at a time where one old man is hanging on but is not in control. Ebimu naye abeera abikola ki bitambula. I am sure there's a lot around him he cannot take charge of. We must work for a second independence. And that's why we are here. We must work for a second liberation. Abava Emoshi, I was only a little boy. Ngabagoba Obote, Ngabagoba Amini. Never gama nti yali libaisho kwali kwenunula. Abenunula ng'Amini agobeddwa ne bagamba balese demokrasia ne bakolamu ebyabwe era yali kapa mu kutya wakaluka ekinaana n'ebyakavaamu. We are still paying the price of stolen elections, but we are still stealing elections. Omuwendo omunene ogw'obulwa obubbe gwe tusasulidde mu kyatufuna obwetwaze nakasituyiganga akusika muliro kakubeera bantu bagezi. There's something wrong with our DNA. This generation must correct that we are not able to hold a simple exercise called an election, and we pride in what we saw and what we have seen. I have actively participated in the last 7 electoral cycles. There's something amiss. And today we assemble to not only announce coordinators, but also to remind ourselves of a cardinal duty as citizens, as leaders, of what's going to take for us to build an enduring democracy and an enduring constitutional order. Ekiwandiiko kya 95 kye twayita ssemateeka kyali kiwandiiko kya General Museveni. General Museveni yagamba bakitaffe nti ye munnamagye mulwanyi tagenda kuwangaalawo ajja kubeerawo emyaka ng'ena noza ziro tebagiwulira ali ategeezaana. Yagamba myaka awo ng'ena nze ndi mulwanyi ebyo sibiriimu emyaka ena noza ziro teyagisaako. It's now 40 years. So we must work to undo that kind of misrepresentation. Ono yaba asembayo tuguza kapa mu kutya. General Museveni should be the last dictator to preside over this nation and to abuse our generosity as a people and to abuse our sacrifice as a nation, but also to sleep and stall the aspirations of our people and the dreams of this generation. Before us and ahead of us is a duty of unseen unity that we desire as people who want change. But the question is, must we unite only around elections? That's the big question. Should our unity only come at elections? Twetaaga kwegatta kugenda mu kalulu, okwegatta okugenda okujja omufu mu kinnya, n'okwegatta okutaasa omuntu okugwa mu kinnya kiriwo ekisinga. That we must unite to pull a dead body out of a depression instead of stopping a death. I think we are handling the wrong side of the knife. Akaso tukakwata ku bwogi so si ku kiti oba ku mukonda gwako oba gyekiri nekyo. The DA as a big tent. The DA is a big tent. The DA is not a party. That's why in this big tent you have different political persuasions, but only convinced with the only common goal of working together as a people to draw the entirety of the nation into one direction, to demand that particular things be done. Sagala muntu kwewangamya mu buyinza nga si mulonde. Sikitwagala. Naye twagala genda mu kalulunga abatawunyiriza, abatalaba. Ne muzibe sense ze nazikola ki? Zikola kyovola osanga omuzibe nga atambula ng'akutta akati n'atagwa mu kinnya. If a blind man can walk with a stick and avoid falling in a pit, Katonda bwe yawa amaaso abiri, ennyindo nga zissa, amatu nga gawulira, n'obwongo nga si butooleko, olemwa otya okutegeera nti waliwo ekizibu eky'amaanyi Katonda bakusiikula kigere? The opposition desiring change must think deeply that our unity should not only be around elections, but also around processes that lead to elections. Muyiza akumma nakola ki nakunyumiza engombe. The process that lead to these elections are as important as the elections themselves. The lessons from Kawempe and other places we have had by elections should have been strong enough to remind us how we are stuck. Part of the duty you coordinators have from today onwards is to go and rally the nation into demanding for minimum reforms. It's not late. No one should deceive you that's late to go for reforms. I have heard strangely some leaders from the opposition claiming that the quest for reforms is late. Namely, that General Museveni and his parliament will not accept them. And then there is a question that how will Museveni, who doesn't want reforms, then declare you as a winner? Museveni tukimanyi taagala nkyukakyuka mu mateeka kubanga agala ogamukolera. Galate opposition omwoyewungako ddi n'ogamba nti tebisoboka. Ate n'ogamba najja kukulangirira ng'owangudde. Aba anaakulangirira atya? Okuggyako nga watoolwako. Oyinza otya okuyingira ekibira ky'owuliramu empologoma ng'ekola ki? Ng'ewuuna. Gwe n'ogamba nti eyo mpuuna malungu si empologoma. Nga ne woyisa olabawo amagumba. So we need to be alive to the realities. Dr. Abed kyayogeddeko. Tomanyi we tuli ate otugamba nti wange tulaga tokubanga oliko ekikyamu. So gye mugenda yonna, wherever you're going as our coordinators across the country, is to go and amplify the voice for reforms. The voice for reforms and the transition. Let me say this. When we talk about reforms and the transition, some people believe that reform and transition are all about changing laws. Particular actions, particular outputs are not necessarily legislations. Some are commitments. Ng'ogyeko ensi ez'abagwagwa, abantu abatakkaanya basobola n'okutula wansi ne baako bye bakkiriza nti kino kikkirizibwa, kino tekikkirizibwa. Naye ebyo okubeerawo mulina okuteekawo embeera ey'enjawulo. Tolangira bulangirizi tugenda kwetaba mu kalulu. You must put up a fight to make sure that certain things change. Tesookerwako. You must put pressure on the system. Opposition etutte amaanyi mangi nnyo ekawempe and esaawo impact. That's beautiful. Watya amaanyi ge gamu enja nga tuli soloti ne tugenda ebundi bujjo ne tugenda ettoolo nga tugamba eggwanga lyonna no reforms no elections ne tuzima momentamu y'eggwanga. Ffe mu D8 twagala nnyo akalulu kabeerewo era twagala nnyo okkeetabamu. Situwagala akalulu kabeerewo ng'omukolo obukolo. We want to participate in a consequential election. Akalulu akanaavaamu ebintu ebitaggulula ebigere byaffe ng'eggwanga okuva we tuli ne tugenda ku step ekola ki? That is our essence. If we summon the same energy, if we summon the same capacity, the same unity that was exhibited in the by-elections behind us, and used it to raise the momentum of the nation, to call upon everyone to say we must undertake minimum reforms before the next election, I can tell you, General Museveni and his people have no capacity stopping that. My Museveni bw'amugamba nti tujja mu kalulu nga naye agolwa essuuti ye ey'okulayira kubanga omubayi muzimuwerekera buki. We don't want to be escorts at Museveni's swearing ceremony. That's never our aspiration. Twagala kumuwerekera ku mukolo gwe gwa kulayira. nakino kanti bagambe tetutya kuwangulibwa nesitukkiriza kujoga mukalulu gyotujogerayo ng'olayire. No. If we lost in a free and fair process, we would say we lost. Probably we resourced. So nga bwe mundaba n'abakulu bano tutambule butambu tuwerekere Mwami Museveni alayire without challenging his actions. Tukolime bukolimi, tumukolimire, tuyite emizimu, tusiyite ebigere. Is that our duty? It's not. We still have time. We can make the push. So we are here to empower you, wherever you're coming from, to go and summon your best. Go and summon your energies. Go and summon your capacity. I'm very sure our people do not want violent elections. I am very convinced, and so is everyone here, that our people want to participate in a safe electoral process. Safety of our people, safety of the media, safety of citizens at election is what we aspire. No. Because an election has a lot of consequences to the people. It must be a proper election. It must be properly organized. It must be properly structured. Kakati basibu ne banyemu. Waliwo abagamba tuleete reforms nga Mwami Museveni aweddemu amaanyi. Litmus paper y'amaanyi ge ani agikeberako agirina. Gakumawa. Museveni is not simply an individual. We are dealing with the Museveni and the Musevenism. Do you understand? So how do you overcome Museveni and then subsequently the Musevenism? Museveni nenno yemutambulirako ey'effujjo, effugabbi, obutafaayo. Ne bwakera enkya n'avaawo nga Musevenism esimbye emirandira ng'egy'omulondo. You have the same problems. That's my invitation to all and sundry, that we must use this opportunity. I want to assure you, we still have time to demand for these reforms, such that we take our people in a dignified electoral exercise, not in a debacle. Kugenda kuswaza na kuchobola abantu baffe. So kubanga bagenze kuwandiisa noddayo wakanga nekumpaita kuli mapesa mwera kunyonyola abaana ate badde ngenze kwewandiisa mara okubuuza badde ogenze kwewandiisa kukola ki kufuna ki. Are we serious? So we need to try the country as DA to reject, isolate persons and institutions and the groups that are working very hard to turn this country into a basket, into a pariah state. Now abayamba kumukumanya nembutamanya. Osobola okuyamba Museveni okudda muyinza ntotegedde nti omuyamba. And all those working to undermine unity must be isolated and ignored. Obanga emyaka 4 egy'Mwami Museveni ebadde ensobi. Ensobi eyo tuyinza okugamba nti ekomye kati. If the 40-year rule was such a big error, that mistake can be stopped. But we cannot stop it without purposeful unity, without structured unity, without intentional unity. Waliwo abagamba nti twegatte naye nga mwegattira kuffe. That's not the DA intention. We are willing to work as DA with every group of the opposition that understands our journey. Tujja kukola buli muntu yenna ategeera olugendo luno nti lwabwegendeza nakuwuliziganya. Njala kiddamu. Tetutambula ng'ab'omukwano, tuli ba mukwano nnyo. Tutambula ffenna kubanga twagala Uganda nnyo okusinga omukwano. That's the agenda we want to drive at the DA.